Anderson was beloved in Detroit, leading the Tigers to their last World Series championship in 1984. Our affiliate in Detroit takes a look back at his life and his career.
George Lee Anderson, better known as Sparky, was born February 22nd, 1934 in Bridgewater, South Dakota. His major league playing career lasted all of one season, but Sparky Anderson made his mark as one of the greatest managers ever. In the 1970s, Anderson became the manager of the Cincinnati Reds. He was the leader of the Big Red Machine. In 1975, Anderson led the Reds to a world title and repeated in 1976. 2 years later, Anderson was fired by the Reds, but landed in Detroit on June 14, 1979, and the rest was history. His wit, his humor, and his personality became legendary in this town.
Do you go home at the end of this season, try to forget everything, and then regroup? You go home.
In 1984, Anderson's team was loaded. They started the season 35-5, and they brought home Detroit's first world title since 1968. Kirk Gibson's home run in Game 5 was captured on Sparky's face, and his reaction was priceless in the dugout.
And there it goes!
In 1987, Sparky may have pulled off his biggest coup of all. He started a charity for children called Catch, Caring Athletes Team for Children's in Henry Ford Hospital.
Sparky?
Thank you, Bernie. First of all, let me say this, that it's wonderful, and baseball has been so great to all of you fans that have been able to watch it over the years, and it's certainly been extra special to me. But there's nothing in this world that you will ever do that's better than helping a child.
That same year, the Tigers finished with the best record in baseball, but were upset by the Twins in the ALCS. Then in 1989, the Tigers stunned everyone by losing 103 games. Anderson was a realist before heading to spring training the following season.
Will you be the manager of this team next year?
Yeah, I don't know why they're going to let me attack it again, but yes, I'll be the manager. Bernie.
No question.
No questions whatsoever. I'll manage the Detroit Tigers next year, and like I say, boy, they got a lot of confidence in me.
In 1995, Anderson stepped down as manager of the Tigers. He wasn't happy with the state of the game at that point following the strike of 1994. But he still remained close to Detroit and would visit quite often from his home in Thousand Oaks, California.
I will always miss and always follow the Tigers, because this is home. I spent 17 years. In the last 17 years, I spent more time here in Thousand Oaks, California, my home.
George Lee Sparky Anderson.
Then in 2000, the ultimate honor. Sparky Anderson was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He was a student of the game, and he knew that this honor would be the biggest of all.
There's two kinds of manager. One that ain't very smart. He gets bad players, loses games, and gets fired. There was somebody like me that I was a genius. I got good players, stayed out of their way, let them win a lot, and then just hung around for 26 years. It was a lot of fun.
Sparky Anderson was without question one of the most charismatic personalities the game of baseball has ever seen. He always had a moment for everyone, and he loved to laugh, and he loved to have fun.
I don't ever make fun or joke, and my wife knows it. She knows how much I think of her, and she knows the way I felt about you. I gave you the name Bernardo. Nobody else did that.
No, nobody, right.
That's right.
And the thing about Carmen is, she used to carry both of us. Now she only has to carry me.
That's right. Yeah, you still got it.
And Sparky was an emotional man. That side of him came to the surface when his friend Ernie Harwell passed away.
He was so unique because he loved everybody. He had nobody that he didn't like. It's such a shame when a man who cares that much for people has to leave us.
It would be difficult to sum up the life of Sparky Anderson in just a few sentences. But if you ask Sparky Anderson how he would like to be remembered, he doesn't hesitate with an answer.
I came into the game and never stole, and never cheated anyone, and was left the game the same way. I feel so proud of myself, and that's bragging. I feel proud of myself because I know I didn't leave no bad marks behind me.
That's a lot to put on a headstone, though.
Oh, Oh, that's a man. No, I think I'm going for the cremation. Make it quick, Bernardo. Make it quick.
Sparky Anderson, one of the all-time greats in any sport, dead at the age of 76.
A Tiger legend, Sparky Anderson, spent a decade and a half with the Detroit Tigers, managing that magical 1984 run that brought a world championship to our state. How well we all remember it, huh, Bri?
Of course. Never forget, Sparky died today at his California home from complications of dementia. He was 76 years old. Sports director Jack Doles joins us tonight to remember Captain Hook.
Well, when he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame, you just heard it there. Sparky said the secret to his success was great players, and he had a lot of them on his championship teams in Cincinnati and Detroit. One West Michigan native who had the honor of playing for Sparky was Chad Curtis. He was traded to the Tigers in Sparky's final season, 1995, and he hit a career-high 21 home runs that year. It was no secret Sparky loved the long ball, and it was an at-bat that featured one of his 21 homers that Chad told us was one of his favorite Sparky memories.
It's late in the game, we're in Tiger Stadium, runners at first and second, nobody out, and I came up, bunt situation, we're down by one, and I looked down at third base coach and no bunt, swinging away, and ended up hitting a 3-run homer, and coming in and Sparky slapping me the back of the head and saying, "You're the wanted up there, we wanted you hitting the whole time," and felt pretty good about myself. Sparky, had my back, wanted me to hit, and I remember talking to Alan Trammell a year later about that story, and Alan said, well, actually, I was standing right beside Sparky during that whole thing, and I remember, and let me tell you how it went. Alan said, Sparky said, this kid can't bunt to save his life, I gotta let him swing away.
That is Sparky in a nutshell. Do and say whatever it took to get the players to feel good about himself. That's what makes a great players manager.
Thanks, Jack. We'll have continuing coverage throughout the night of Sparky Anderson's life and times. Tonight at 10 and 11, we'll have live reports from Detroit, and you can also share your comments on the Wood TV Facebook page.
Sparky's life, as so many people know, he's the first major league manager to win a World Series in both the American and National Leagues. Fans and players have pretty heavy hearts tonight. Ed Kongursky's live in our newsroom here. Ed, Sparky's death, it's really going to have a lasting impact on the whole sport of baseball, really.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Jeff. Sparky was a story to share, a man who loved his job like few people do. Anderson had his critics, to be sure. Everyone in pro sports does, but the guy made you laugh. He made you think, and for the diehards, he probably even made you cry. Certainly in 1984, when he led the Tigers to their most recent World Series title. He was third on the all-time wins list when he retired in 1995. To former players like Alan Trammell, Sparky Anderson will live on forever.
We don't need to bring up Sparky's name because it's embedded in us. And most of the things that we do, obviously we're our own guys and our own people. But with that being said, there's certain things that are with us. We'll take it forever that we were taught the right way. And obviously, they're going to be hearing some Sparky stories when we get into spring training with the Diamondbacks, and very proud of it.
Alan Trammell, now an assistant coach with the Arizona Diamondbacks. At Sparky's request, there will be no funeral service or memorial. The family, his wife, 3 children, and 9 grandchildren, asked that any donations be made to Catch, his Detroit charity for children. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Ed Kongursky, News Channel 3.
And if you can see out there, that's the center field flag that stood in Tiger Stadium. We're told that flag will be lowered to half-mast in honor of Sparky Anderson. Fans here still hope that the Tigers will do something to remember Sparky when the new season kicks off sometime in April. In Detroit, Larry Figursky, 24-Hour News 8.
Thank you, Larry.